Welcome to Let's Chat. I'm your host today, Tony, and I've got Simon as my other co-host, and we've got a special guest today, and that's Julie. But before we get started, let's just read out what our mission is for today's. Our mission is to educate and engage with our audience with lively discussions with experts to gain their valuable experiences, tips and benefits of the business and well-being practices they can offer. A little bit about me. I help individuals, business owners with customized retreats and consultation to maximize the feelings of vibrance, happiness, health and success. Over to you, Simon. What do you do? Oops.
Amazing forum. For those that don't know me, my name is Simon Bowden and I'm an international marketing business coach. I'm also a master coach, which means that I've coached in excess of 10,000 hours. In actual fact, I've probably coached about 25,000 hours. But anyway, my aim is to look at each business, identify what's working and what's not working in a business. I throw out what's not working and I replace it with strategies that do work. And as a result, I can achieve at least double or even triple your sales in a 3 to 6 month period. So Tony, that's what I do, but it's not about us today. It's about an amazing lady by the name of Julie Cini, and I'd love to actually introduce Julie to us, to our audience this morning. Julie Cini is passionate about educating people on how to leave a lasting legacy. For the last 15 years, Julie has campaigned and advocated for better access to treatment for those living with spinal muscular atrophy, which we all know as SMA, and has successfully advocated for $250 million in drug treatment for the community here in Australia. Julie's an amazing community leader. She's a global speaker. She's a resilience mentor, a campaign advocate, and author. Please welcome this morning, Julie Cini.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, absolutely. So what we do here on Let's Chat is we're going to fire a few questions to you. And we just want to get a bit of an understanding of sort of what your past has been, what you've been doing, and how you help people succeed. So maybe what I'll do is I'll kick it off, but I need to ask you, what is SMA? If you can describe that to our audience, and how did you get involved?
Sure. So SMA is short for spinal muscular atrophy. And if you've heard of motor neurone disease, SMA is the childhood version of motor neurone disease. So it basically, atrophy is wastage and wastage of muscle. So it's wasting away not only the muscles you see, like your arms and your legs, but it's also wasting away all your internal muscles, like your coughing, your breathing, and your swallowing. So it's quite debilitating. SMA is just a physical disability. It's not an intellectual disability. Their intelligence is not affected. And yeah, you literally just watch someone waste away in front of you. I'd never heard of SMA until my first daughter was diagnosed with it 17 years ago now. And basically they tell you, as a first-time mum, they told me, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. Take your child home, love it till it dies. You've got 12 months, And, if you know motor neurone disease, some of it can be quite quick. And my girls had the most severe form of SMA, which is type 1. And usually you're dead within the first 12 months of life. So, it was really hard. You saw, this perfect little creature that looked back at you and smiled at you and was trying to, interact with you, but couldn't because they had no muscles to do so. SMA is genetic. It is no fault of the mother or the father. It's both parents. So 1 in 35 people carry the gene for SMA, but it's not until you match up with that other 1 in 35 that every time you get pregnant, you have a 1 in 4 chance. So unfortunately, I copped it twice, and My second daughter, Zali, also had SMA type 1 as well. And she lived, so Montana, my first daughter, was 10 months old when she died. And Zali, my second daughter, was 12 months old when she died. So, but my story gets a little worse because in the middle of it, I also lost my partner in a car accident. So I lost the whole three of them in 2.5 years to the day. And it's not only, it's taught me resilience, but it's taught me that no matter what happens in your life, if you set a goal for yourself, you can get out there and achieve it. So, hopefully we can, talk a little bit about that today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just it's an amazing story, Julie. And as you know, I've had the privilege of knowing Julie probably for the last 10 something years, and I've seen firsthand what she's been through, and the amazing resilience that this beautiful person that's sitting in front of us today has, and it's been a pleasure to know you, and help you through this too.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Julie, perhaps you can just sort of tell me, where did you find that resilience? Where did it come from? Because I think that's a major one for our audience to know.
Look, I think we've all got resilience, and it's not until something like this happens to you that it's tested. And, you can go either two ways. I could have sat there in a chair bawling my eyes out for the rest of my life thinking, I don't have my children, I don't have my husband, woe is me. I did meet a person, a mum, after my first daughter died, and her daughter had died before mine, and you couldn't even speak the kid's name, and she would be in tears. And I'm just like, that's not who I want to be. That's not what I want to be. So I changed my outlook, and, my children deserve to be remembered. So I wanted to make sure I made a difference in this world. I didn't know at the time, and sometimes you don't know what that difference is. And, you hear the age-old adage of, things happen in your life for a reason. All right, my thing that happened was pretty horrific, but I know that it's happened for a reason. And, you learn that resilience along the way. It's there. You just have to tap into it slowly. And, I use the analogy all the time of the little man. There's two men digging gold in a mine, and the gold is sitting right there, and the little man walks away with his pick, and the other guy is, 10 feet longer away from the gold, and he keeps digging. And you've just got to keep digging, because you can achieve whatever you need to, if you just keep on that path. And that's how resilience is built. It's you just keep going, and you learn along the way.
And I suppose that's a great segue now into, you obviously started SMA, the charity. So what have you achieved so far to date?
Yeah, I started SMA 6 weeks after my first daughter Montana died, and I would never say to anyone who loses a child to go and start a charity straight away. But it was something that I needed to do for my grief. And, we started out, and we're still a support group first and foremost, but, we've developed into a lot of advocacy and campaigning for, different things. So we've got 3 key messages, and for the past sort of 5 or so years, we've been campaigning for timely access to treatment, a carrier screening program, which prior to a pregnancy, you can actually have a blood test to see whether you're a carrier of the disease, and to also get access to a national newborn screening program, so that, if you didn't get picked up prior to being pregnant, you got picked up at newborn screening so that you were treated early, because once your motor neurons die, they're wasted and you can't get them back. So the earlier you are treated, the better off you are. So we successfully advocated 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, in 2018, for the first worldwide treatment for SMA. It's called nusinersen, or Spinraza is its label name, and it's worth over $100,000 an injection. And yeah, $250 million worth of drug treatment got passed for those who have SMA under the age of 18. And we're still continuing to campaign. We're actually waiting next week for an announcement from the Pharmaceutical Benefits Advisory Committee for the third drug in the pipeline, and then also the second drug in the pipeline. So the SMA space has changed significantly in the last 5 years. And, you know, we're seeing new generation SMA now, which is like, I can't believe my eyes sometimes. You know, kids that shouldn't be here are still here, going to school, you know, forging pathways that, you know, just didn't used to happen, you know, even a few years ago, you know.
It's exciting.
It is.
No,
Julie, I sense that you're achieving a lot of passion in what you're doing. So how did you get that passion? Where did it come from? Because you seem like there's a lot of enthusiasm and there's a lot of life behind it all. Where did it come from?
I always, when I talk to people, I always try and find out what their why is. And if you don't know what your why is, you know, why are we doing something? You know, you're just sort of living to work. And I need to make sure that at the end of the day, when I see my children, that I can say to them, I fixed it. You know, I couldn't fix it while they were alive, but man, I can fix it for every other single child that comes through, you know, this disease in the future. And, you know, that's my passion. That's why I get out of bed every day. That's why I continue to, you know, be resilient, get knocked down and get back up again, because I can't look them in the eye at the end of the day when I see them again and say, I couldn't fix this for anyone else, you know. And that's why I do what I do, and why I'm so passionate about it, why, you know, and you can't, it's not a 5-minute job, you know, it's not a sprint. I say it's a marathon, and it's a long marathon, and you've got to be prepared to, you know, go down a different road and go off on another, you know, marathon.
Yeah. Do you do anything special with your mindset? For instance, do you sort of do meditation, or do you do other sort of practices? Because you seem to me as though you've got that really strong sort of mindset to move forward. What do you do?
No, I don't meditate, actually. My brain is too wired to do that. I think I must have a go at it. I can't sit still for 5 seconds, but I guess it's my determination that I just, you know, love. I just have to do this, you know, and I guess that's what drives me to continue to move forward.
Yep. Obviously, you've got a giant heart there, Julie.
She does, absolutely. In the bio, Julie, I mentioned about a legacy. What's the legacy, or creating a legacy, all about?
So it's doing something that you're passionate about, and making sure that you're leaving your mark on this world for future generations. And, you know, as you've just heard, I'm trying to, you know, get a national newborn screening program along, trying to get access to treatment so that kids, one, don't die in the future, and two, that, you know, my lasting legacy will be seen for all these, you know, families, and the SMA space will change here in Australia forever. So, you know, it's doing something that you're passionate about. It doesn't have to do with medical. It could be the environment, or, you know, whatever it is. You know, we always say, you know, Princess Diana left a legacy for peace, and Freddie Mercury left a legacy for music. You know, it's about, I guess, figuring out what legacy you want to leave. And, you know, I love to help people find, you know, their why and get clarity on what they're passionate about, so, you know, they can start to leave their own legacy.
Yeah. And how do you go about helping people do that?
Yeah, so we basically sit down and have a chat, and, you know, see what areas that they're loving, and just trying to nut out what they're trying to achieve, so we can get them on a pathway, and giving them some, you know, key strategies to move forward to be able to do that. Like I said, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It takes a little while, and I guess it's about planting those seeds and watching those seeds grow to enable them to, you know, get to their end goal.
So what sort of help do you need from other communities or government? How can they help you move forward with this?
So I guess I don't need much help from government. I guess I need support from those wanting to leave a legacy. You know, this could be, you know, someone in a patient organisation, someone in a sporting club. You know, it's just trying to work with those people who want to identify, you know, the legacy that they want to leave, and how we can work together to be able to leave that legacy. You know, it's sometimes it's a one-on-one thing. You know, I can work one-on-one, or sometimes I can go into like a cooperation and work for a day to see what you know, what areas that they're trying to make a difference in, and make some suggestions. So it sort of, it works on a different range of subjects.
Yeah. You're one of the most inspiring people that I know, Julie, and, and I know you giggle about that, but I must admit that you are. What inspires you?
Thank you, Simon. I really appreciate your kind words. Watching other people grow inspires me. It's great to watch their journey, and it's great to inspire others to do that. You know, I when I wrote my book, I had people contact me, and one lady in particular, she said, oh, Julie, thank you for giving me clarity. And I said, what have you done? And she said, I quit my job. And I'm just like, no. You know, you don't have to quit your job. And she's like, yeah, but I did have to quit my job because I was nearly at retirement age. They were trying to, you know, get me to stay there. And she said, I wanted to spend some time with my husband who was sick, you know. And in that case, I'm just like, oh, congratulations, you know. So her and her husband went on their dream trip, and you know, 2 years later he passed away. So you know, to be able to give someone, and it's just sending goosebumps down my spine, because to give someone that amount of clarity, to be able to, you know, do what's right for them is so important. And you know, we need to do more of that. We consider everyone else like our boss, or you know, whoever's around us. We don't stop and consider ourselves. And hey, look, that was me. That is me most of the time. And this year I stopped and I wanted to think about myself. And, you know, I started a journey of being more healthy and losing weight. And, you know, I'm on a different journey for myself, and I'm choosing myself first before I choose others. So, you know, I need to be a product of my own desires. And, you know, so far I've lost 19 kilos. I'm, you know, really excited about where I'm going and what I'm doing. But, you know, you've got to, again, have that determination and that resilience to be able to continue to, you know, move down that road. So, you know, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, what I'd like to do is acknowledge your resilience and your determination, even and your sense of justice, because I think it's important that you're able to speak out aloud, and often that's people just don't do that. And I'd like to acknowledge that. It's something that you got courage to be able to do that. Where did you learn how to do that? Because I think a lot of people need to have that bit of courage to do that.
Thrown in the deep end, I think.
Yeah, I agree. You know, sometimes it can be really hard to, you know, talk about things that are tragic in your life, or talk about things that are uncomfortable. But I really think that by talking about things and, you know, acknowledging, and if you're on the other end of this, you know, listen to someone, take the time to, you know, just sit and validate what someone is saying. They need to get it out there for a reason, and you know, they're obviously concerned. You may not be able to help them, but acknowledge that you want to listen to them. So, you know, I try and say to people, the more you talk about it, the easier it becomes, and people say to me now, 15 and 17 years later, after my children have died, I'm so sorry that we're talking about this. Well, don't be sorry. My kids existed, and, I want to talk about and speak their name every single day. I don't need to hide them in a drawer. I want to be able to remember who they were. We remember somebody that is 100 that passes away. Why can't we remember somebody who's 10 months old that passes away? Their life and is important and of value. So I guess trying to just make sure that people have an open forum to speak their mind is extremely important, and listening to what's being said.
Mm.
Can you perhaps share with us some examples of, or a example of perhaps a family that you have been able to help, and the feeling from the family that's actually come back to you?
Yeah, when it was really funny, when I received a phone call from a lady in Darwin, actually, and she was one of the first, or her daughter was one of the first kids here in Australia that received the treatment knowingly. Everyone else had either received it on a trial or through compassionate access. And, to be able to speak to that mum and, have a joyous sort of conversation and not having to say, oh, no, sorry, we can't help you. And being able to say, yes, there's something here is such an amazing feeling. Do you know what I mean? And, the same when that treatment came through, it's better than any drug you'll ever take. That feeling of being, conscientious and kind, and knowing that the work that you did has benefit not only one person, but many people. And, the more that you give back to society and the more that you see the benefits of what you're doing, it's euphoric, and I say it's better than any drug you'll ever take, and you want to just continue to do it over and over again. And, that's why I fight so hard for what I'm doing. I just, the feeling that I'll get from it when I get everything passed, it is just euphoric, and you just want to do that again.
Yeah. Tony?
So, Julie, what sort of help do you need from the outside? Do you need other members to help you out? So perhaps you could sort of tell us what sort of support you'd like to see from other people.
I guess I can put a call to action out, if there's anyone that, would like to know how to leave a legacy, please, get in contact with me. I'd love to have a conversation, with anyone. If anyone's got any burning, legacies that they want to, go over, and I'm more than happy to, have a conversation with anyone, and, see. It would be lovely to sort of get a little, scorecard going of how many legacies we can, get left, I guess. So, and the variety of legacies that we get to leave. It's not just, I'm leaving legacies in the disability and, advocacy sector. Simon, you could leave a legacy in, coaching, and getting people to grow their businesses. There's all sorts of, someone wants to plant a million trees. Yeah, health and well-being. That's exactly right. You've got to, it all depends. So, I guess it's just about starting the conversation. I urge people to, contact me so we can start the conversation, and, let's see how many legacies we can leave.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It really is. So, Tony, if you want to run through perhaps, what we've learned.
Well, I think we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about muscular atrophy. We've learned all about resilience, which is so important. We've also learned about determination, which is so important. And I think these sort of factors really shine what the character of Julie, what she's been able to emit out. And what she's been able to achieve just through that enthusiasm of keep on going. So I'd love to acknowledge you for that type of work. And I encourage everybody to contact Julie if they need an ounce of inspiration for their legacy. So that's, I think that, you know, you're wonderfully inspiring to us.
Yeah, and I second that. I absolutely adore Julie. She's an amazing lady, and I think just being around her, just being in the same room as her sometimes is just enough to be inspired. You know, it's that old adage of you know, you want to grow. As a person and as a business, you gravitate to the people that are successful and are positive, and I absolutely love that about Julie. And I think, you know, our friendship has been very strong from day one, and it's amazing to see what Julie has brought to the table, and what she's been able to achieve is amazing. I personally, I can't keep up. You know, I walk into the office and say hi, Julie, and she's like, "Sorry, I've got to run. I've got to keep going." You know, I'm jumping on a plane and I'm flying to Europe, or, you know, whatever the case is. It's, you know, I never know where she is. She's all over the place. But right. I mean that in the absolute nicest way. I think, you know, I hear the stories of how she helps people, and especially families that, you know, that whole thing of, you know, that uncertainty that families must go through, that Julie puts their minds at ease and helps them through that journey is just truly amazing and encouraging. So I thank you, you know, for that, Julie, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be associated with you and work with you. So I really appreciate it.
So, Julie, I noticed it's at the top of the hour. Would there be one last parting message that you'd like to tell the audience?
Yeah, certainly. The biggest message that I've got for everyone today is, you know, you can do anything that you set your mind to, no matter how small or how big it is. You've just got to put one foot in front of the other and keep going. And that's how you learn resilience, and that's how you learn to leave a legacy. And whether it takes you 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, or 50 years, you will get there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the length of time.
No. You just got to remember your goal, and, you know, once you achieve that goal, the feeling that you get is amazing, and the legacy that you get to leave is even better, because people will remember you. It's really funny. I always say that I don't want on my gravestone, you know, Julie was here. You know, Julie was here and she left a legacy is a little bit better. So you know, we all have a choice in this life. You know, we can choose not to do anything, or we can choose to make a difference. And, you know, I urge everyone to take the latter, you know, make that difference, because you'll be so much better person for it. And, you know, the people that you're supporting or helping will be so much better as well. So that's my lasting, you know, legacy that I want to impart with people today.
Yeah, that's true.
Simon, and what's your takeaway for today?
Yeah, look, my takeaway is absolutely the resilience, the inspiration and the resilience that Julie just oozes. It's just, it's amazing. And as I said before, I know the inspirational message that Julie puts out there, and the number of people that she inspires along the way is just truly remarkable. So thank you.
Yep, and my main takeaway is to echo what you said, Simon. It's pretty hard to go past the resilience and the inspiration and the enthusiasm that you sort of illuminate out of you.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't stop her.
That's right. You vibrate that, and it's hard not to pick that up.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Julie, for your time. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show. And audience, please stay tuned, because we've got other Let's Chats coming. We're just having a short little break, but stay in tune, touch with us. We love doing these Let's Chat, and we love having guests, especially like Julie, and to inspire you to move forward and to help business owners and people per se to be the best that they can be.
Absolutely.
So on that note, I think we'll bid you goodbye.
Thank you very much, Julie, and thank you, audience. Speak soon.
Bye.
Bye.